Hi everybody, and welcome to our second annual Leadership for Women in Healthcare conference. I am so very excited to be chairing this event. I'm really glad that you're here. I want to start by acknowledging something simple but important, that choosing to be present for something like this, especially in healthcare, is not trivial, right? All of our time is limited. Our attention is constantly being pulled in through every direction by every direction. And in fact, you all carved out time and space on your calendar. And doing that tells me that leadership and growth and reflection really matters to you. So I appreciate that. My name is Donna Coriel. I'm an internist, and it's definitely my privilege to open this conference and to put together the other conferences that we so proudly build at SoMeDocs. And this is a better time than ever to announce that our conferences are going to be free while they're live in 2026, our conferences as well as all of our lectures. So this specific week is going to be about leadership, but not in the abstract, not in the way that it's often presented as a set of traits or titles or buzzwords. This conference is about leadership as it's actually lived by all of you here, by women in healthcare within real systems, within the real constraints that we face and the responsibilities and the stakes that we're up against. Now, many women in healthcare don't formally set out to become leaders. Leadership often just kind of arrives gradually. And sometimes it's quiet and sometimes it's abrupt, and often it's without a roadmap. It might look like being asked to take on an extra responsibility. I know that you all are recognizing this because you're capable, or stepping in when something isn't working, or becoming the person that others are relying on, even when you weren't necessarily given authority or resources or formal recognition to match that role. Now, over time, those moments accumulate, and before long, we find ourselves leading, whether it be teams or initiatives or conversations or change, while we're still carrying out our clinical responsibilities and our personal obligations and the expectations that aren't always clearly stated, but are obviously very much felt. So this conference was designed with this reality in mind, all of our realities. I'm going to pause for a second and ask that those people that are here live write down where they're coming from, because a big part of this conference for me is networking. It always is. No matter what I do, I want to know you. I want to know who you are. And the woman next to you, so to speak, right, on in the computer online, somewhere else, maybe in the nation, but sitting next to you at this conference might want to know you as well. And that is, I believe, something that we are missing in healthcare. And of course, especially where it comes to women and women helping women. So this isn't about fixing women. It's not about adding more to
Using AI, AI can definitely help you depending on what you have.
whoever's there. I'm sorry. I'm going to mute. Thank you. Yeah, I'm seeing actually everyone is saying where they're from. Wow, the Philippines. Amazing. So far away. Welcome. Let me just make sure that I mute everyone because I did not do that ahead of time, of course. You can't be perfect. All right, I'll do it afterwards. I can't figure that out now. All right. So back to what I was saying. It's not about adding more to our plates, and it's not about suggesting that leadership requires becoming something else. Instead, it's really about giving language to experiences that many of us are already recognizing, and creating space for honest discussions and offering really practical insight that respects that complexity of leadership within healthcare. So tonight begins that conversation, and we are starting with a session that speaks directly to the experience of stepping into leadership roles without having been prepared for everything that comes with them. We're going to hear from Dr. Gretchen Rickards at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, just in just about 20 minutes. She's going to be presenting This Wasn't in the Job Description: The Unspoken Challenges of Women Leaders in Medicine. Her talk is going to address something that many of us have felt but rarely articulate, and that's the gap between formal expectations and lived experience. Leadership in medicine often comes with invisible labor, like navigating interpersonal dynamics and managing emotional weight and balancing authority with approachability, and doing so all while being held to standards that aren't always applied equally. And I am going to throw out questions at you as part of networking. I might think up of scenarios that you can all weigh in on, because I personally believe that leadership is not necessarily always about just one person weighing in, but it's about everybody weighing in and expressing what they think. And I don't think there's ever a wrong answer. It's just our own perspective, right? So to me, networking is important. I would love for you all to weigh in when we're live in the chat and when we're not live in the Facebook group and in the WhatsApp group that we've built for this talk, for this conference. Following Dr. Rickard's talk is 8 p.m. tonight, Eastern Standard. We're going to move into Beyond Competency, Discovering the Path to Thriving Leadership with Dr. Tracy Asamoah. Competency is something that women in healthcare know well. We are trained to be prepared and precise and reliable, but leadership that's built solely on competence can really become exhausting over time. So we're going to explore what it means to move beyond simply functioning well and towards leadership that feels sustainable and intentional and aligned with our values. So that's going to end tonight. Again, I'm going to explain to you how everything works and where you can find everything. Tomorrow night, we begin at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard. Dr. Santino Wheat's going to present From Chaos to Calm, Time Management Through Boundaries for Women in Healthcare. Now, time management is often framed as a personal failing rather than a systemic challenge. This session is going to reframe that narrative and focus on boundaries as a skill, and a skill that can be learned and strengthened without guilt or apology. You can, if you're here live, please write in the chat if any of you are familiar with that concept, guilt or apology. I'm sure that you all are. So you're going to hear from Dr. Asha Padamanban next tomorrow night on a lecture that she's titled Leading Yourself First. I'm sorry, she's going to be a mini talk facilitator. There's going to be 2 talks tomorrow. It's going to be Dr. Padamanban, who's going to be talking about leading yourself first, the skill every physician leader needs, but no one teaches. And we're also going to be hearing from Dr. Chris Hill, who is an expert in communication. He's going to talk about speak like a leader, and focus on communication strategies that support authority and confidence without requiring anyone to change who they are. On Thursday, our conversation deepens at 7 p.m. Eastern. We've got Dr. Yvette McQueen, who's going to present Resilient Decision Making, Thriving as a Woman Leader in Healthcare Under Pressure. The session is going to address how to navigate those moments with clarity and resilience, the moments in healthcare where we have to make decisions in high stakes environments. At 8 p.m. Eastern, we've got Ann Bittinger. She's a healthcare attorney speaking on how to legally protect your career as you advance into leadership roles. And that's really important, obviously. A lot of us really appreciate when the lawyers team up with us to talk about the legalities of contracts and of day-to-day work. And in fact, I invite you to check out the medical legal conference that's coming to SoMeDocs, where we've already seated 3 speakers and more are coming. We have that forming, and those 3 talks are scheduled in January and February of this year. At 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to host a Zoom speed networking session, which is my favorite parts of all of these conferences. And it's meant really to be conversational and supportive and definitely not transactional, although we do, make sure that everyone gets equal time and to respect everyone's time in general. On Friday, we're going to close with some reflection and forward-looking discussions. We're going to hear first from Dr. Makanga Stevenson on reframing women's leadership development. followed by yours truly. I am going to be giving a mini talk on branding. We're going to then conclude with Dr. Tish Singer, who's going to present a talk titled Leading the Way. Is it possible in a traditional healthcare model? And that's surely a question that many of us are actively grappling with. So, as we move through this week, I really encourage you not to approach this as something that you need to complete or master, but instead just take note of what resonates. Um, Notice what challenges your assumptions and what feels validating. We do have several spaces to do that, and I hope that you will consider doing that together. I realize this is not an in-person conference, but I strive very, very hard to build conferences that truly resemble in-person conferences so that we can still network and talk to each other and meet other people and really get not only advice from the speakers and the faculty that have signed on to be a part of this conference, but also from one another. Because again, I do think that there's a leader in each one of us. And specifically because we bring our own perspectives to the table, our own culture, our own race, and in this case, our genders to that table, which makes us unique. So, yeah, so leadership really, it's not about arriving at a final version of ourselves, but it really is an evolving process that's shaped by things like context and experience and choice. So, thank you for being here and engaging in this conversation. I am going to now share the screen and I'm going to show you all how this conference works. If you have been with us before, uh, let us know in the chat. Let us know which conference you were a part of, because we host conferences every single month. And again, in 2026, all of our conferences are going to be free while they're live. So here we go. I'm going to share my screen and my apologies for having so many different things open, so many different tabs, but I wanted to show you the main spaces of that are associated with this conference. So, first of all, there's SoMeDocs. There's our platform. The platform's at doctorsonsocialmedia.com. I'm going to go to the home screen just to quickly show you how to get to this specific conference so that you can always get there and see the details. You hover over the learn function, the learn option in the menu when you go to lectures and courses, and then you pick coming up. You will see that it's actually the first one there, right? Leadership for Women in Healthcare. If you ever land on our site again, which I hope that you will notice that there's filters on the side. In those filters are event type, which is where you can pick the actual curated events rather than like individual lectures, because you'll see that you can also click into individual lectures here and look through those. So when you click into online conference, it actually niches it down to the curated events that we have coming up for this year and beyond. So as you can see, we have, and I will talk about this more, but we have a sleep conference in early February, again, free while it's live, filled with experts. We have a second annual lifestyle medicine conference. We have a menopause second annual conference in March. We have a writers conference, third annual. And like I said, medical legal conference, private practice, et cetera, et cetera. Lots and lots is coming. So the way that you'd find it is the way that you'd access it is you just click into the Leadership for Women in Healthcare conference. Now, this is our landing page. There's a menu of its, just for this conference here. So you can, for example, skip down to the speakers to look through who's speaking and what they're speaking about. If you want to get a little bit more niche down and really read more detail about the lectures, what you're going to learn, and who the lecturers are, you can certainly do that. You can click into any of these lectures, and what will open is an individual lecture page where you will see the speaker. You'll read all about the different points that are going to be made. Here's, Dr. Rickards in a little promo so you can meet her. This also serves, by the way, as PR and marketing for the actual speaker. So we appreciate everybody being here on either side. Additionally, most of our speakers, and if not in this conference, certainly moving forward, are going to be members of our community and have profiles of their own. These profiles are meant to provide PR and marketing for each healthcare individual because that is in line with what SoMeDocs' mission is, which is to promote autonomy in healthcare and in medicine. So when you open up her profile, you can read so much more about her. So you're not just reading the title of a talk, you're actually learning more about this person, this human, this leader, about who she is, about what she's chosen to share. Maybe some people have their geographical practice location, so that, if patients land on the site, they can see them. She's, lectured with us several times, and everyone's profile is obviously different. I will take a moment to say that our directories have expanded recently. We have new directories that go beyond the doctors because we do value the allied professions within healthcare, and we think that healthcare is a team sport. We can't bring about change if we don't work together. And we also believe that, again, it's that whole networking concept. Super important. And we can certainly network not just amongst ourselves, but also amongst the others. So we've got a directory for dietitians and for nurses and for pharmacists and therapists and scholars and students. And as of 2026, all healthcare professional profiles are free at the profile level. And so that's new. And it's through invitation and also application. So please consider coming here. This, again, is definitely meant for PR and marketing of our brands and our voices. So that's the conference. When you scroll down, you could see the schedule right in the landing page. So you're going to see that this is where we are right now, the 6:30 to 7 slot. We're about 10 minutes away from our first lecture. And this is where you're going to see what is coming next in our schedule. If you did register for this successfully, you will also receive an email every day that tells you our schedule. Now, the VIP ticket. So there's this option for VIP. The difference is that a VIP ticket holder will be able to watch the recordings of this entire conference at their own time and pace. They will have 6 full months to uh, to look through all of these conferences. They can rewind, they can learn, they can re-watch, they can watch, again and again. Right now, it's at our pre-conference discount pricing. That's $129. It is going to go up to $199 where it will stay, and it will live on our site in an evergreen course, and anybody can watch this after the fact. And we're hoping that by setting such resources up in our profession, it does several things. First of all, it markets the thought leaders that are with us. It provides the PR and marketing that we so badly need as a profession, and not to mention the networking that I spoke about several times. It also really gives us a way to make conferences in healthcare simpler because we don't have to travel to learn from one another, and we don't have to rent hotel rooms or purchase airline tickets, and we certainly don't have to spend tons of money to purchase a conference ticket in the first place, right? I mean, you can't get any better than making something free while it's live. So what I will ask from each of you that's here both live and watching this after the fact is just please spread the word. Let all of your colleagues and your family and friends know that this is in existence, especially for conferences that are coming up. This conference specifically is for healthcare professionals because it's about leadership, but the next one, for example, is about sleep. So I imagine that it's not just doctors that want to learn about sleep, it's also patients. So the one after that's lifestyle medicine, same thing. And then menopause. I mean, it's, one of the hottest topic out there right now. So I imagine a lot of people from the public are going to want to join us too, and they can. It's free while it's live. You do have the option to purchase continuing education credits. They are reflectional. So those CMEs are earned after you reflect. And if you want to learn more, you could just click here. They're, not, it's not our company. It's a company that we work with called CMFI, and they're really wonderful. It's a co-physician founded, and it's just a great company. So that's the landing page. You could also, by the way, add the lecture to your Google Calendar, and it'll just remind you when there's a new lecture coming up. Okay. Oh, there's swag. So if you got the email, you saw already, but if you didn't, here we go. We are featuring our first giveaway. And that giveaway is, sorry about that. We are featuring a giveaway for swag that I created for this conference. One of them is a t-shirt that reads Own the Room. The other is a t-shirt that reads Seen and Serious. And they're both actually made officially for this conference. So there will be one winner until now, at least, who shares that they're here with their online audience. So if you share with your audience that you are coming to this conference so that they know, and you share the link and you tag us so that we can see, we will be so grateful. And we will be picking one winner of a t-shirt of their choice and of a color of their choice, because these come in different colors. So I'm going to let you guys look through that. Okay. Now, while we're live, we interact on this Zoom. We ask each other questions. We chat in the chat. In fact, if you're here and you haven't told us where you're from, please let us know. A few people have already weighed in. We've got Elizabeth City, North Carolina, Philadelphia area, South Florida, Sacramento, again, the Philippines, Austin, Texas, Atlanta, Georgia. We've got New Jersey right here. And we've got others, so please weigh in. I am going to present you with challenges for those that are here, because again, that's networking. So the next challenge for those of you that are here is please list something completely random and unique about yourself. It could literally be like, my favorite color is red. But whatever it is that you comment, please find someone else's comment and write under their comment, like write something about what they're saying. So if they say my favorite color is red, then weigh in with your favorite color, etc. So I challenge you to do that in the chat so that we can get networking before we start our first lecture. Okay, I wanted to share the screen quickly to continue and show you what we're doing on Facebook. There's two places where we can network outside of the Zoom session, because once the Zoom session ends tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, we won't be together. But I still want us to talk about what we just learned about, or maybe ask questions. And I'm going to be maybe thinking of scenarios to throw out your way to see what you guys think of it. And we need a space for that. So that's going to be in two places. One is a WhatsApp group. If you're not familiar with WhatsApp, it's a texting platform that allows you to text for free regardless of where you are in the world. Join our WhatsApp group. If you don't have it, let me know and I will put it in the chat, or maybe somebody can kindly put it in the chat so that you can join. The second place is the Facebook group Med Side Ventures. Now, we recently renamed it from Doc Side Ventures to Med Side Ventures, and that's because we are making this group one that allows anybody from in the healthcare field. So anybody that's a healthcare professional that, would fit into our directories, like doctors and nurses and therapists and physical therapists and occupational therapists and scholars, et cetera, PhDs. You're all welcome here, because we do believe that side ventures are more exciting when you bring in others. So Med Side Ventures is the Facebook group where we are going to be discussing things as well as the WhatsApp group. I am going to be pinning to the top of this group the posts that are important and that should be featured. So when you want to find those, just click into the featured section and you will see the important messages. So that's one thing. Second, I
In
invite you
regards to professionalism versus human.
see, we did not mute people, so my apologies. There we go. Hopefully that's stopped. Um, oh, there we go. So we're starting. So I'm going to just read this out loud because we're starting to network. I have lived in 5 different countries. Amazing. If you're not shy, could you list those countries for us in there? Because we want to know. And I want to say, oh, I've been there. And let's see who's been to the places where you've lived. Another person says something about me. I started working on my fear of heights by going on 2 hot air balloon flights in 2025. Wow. That is amazing. I'm not sure I would have the guts to do that. So kudos. And thank you to the person who posted the WhatsApp chat in the comments. That's the WhatsApp chat that you could come into. We're going to keep it open for the length, for the duration of this conference and continue these incredible conversations that we are having here. So yeah, so this is the Facebook group. If you want, you can right here to the right of this menu, there's 3 buttons. When you click in it, you will see that you can literally pin the group. I already have it pinned. Pin the group to the top of your groups and then also manage notifications and make sure that you've chosen all posts so that all posts show up in your notifications tab. You still, however, will not see everything that's on your screen. You will not get notified because that's just how Facebook is. So we do encourage you, at least over these next 4 days, 4 days of this live event, to just constantly check back here and see what post is new, like regarding this conference. All right. If anybody has any questions here in the chat, here in the live event, please ask now. We are getting ready to bring up Dr. Rickards. I'm going to stop my share. Let me check the chat and see if anyone has any questions. Please, while the conference is going on live and we are in the Zoom, we encourage each and every one of you to use the chat. This is unlike an in-person conference. It is not considered rude. It is not considered against etiquette to use the chat while someone is lecturing. It's actually, if anything, considered complimentary. So write your notes, write your reactions, write your questions. I will be here moderating, so I will pick up any question that you have to ask the speaker after they're done. We have asked the speakers to keep every lecture educational and non-promotional. So I'm very proud of that. And we do that in order to keep our audience safe and not feel like they're being sold to. So we are appreciative of our speakers for that. And I hope that you too can appreciate that, especially since this conference is free while it's live. All right. I am going to now stop and invite you to ask anything that you have in the chat while we begin our conference. Again, if the chat box is bothering you, that the people are chatting and such, you can just turn it off by clicking chat. So clicking chat opens it, and then clicking chat turns it off. So if that's overwhelming to you, just turn it off, and you won't see everyone's chatter. All right, very good. So welcome, and let's make this an amazing second annual event.